Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. The Balasore tragedy is one of India's deadliest train accidents. 275 plus people have lost their lives and over 1,000 have been injured. Union Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnav has led from the front for over 50 hours and more, ensuring that the railway lines are restored as soon as possible. The Railway Board has said that prima facie a technical snag led to the accident and the root cause of the accident was a glitch in the electronic interlocking system. The Railways has now recommended a CBI probe into the matter that is also going to possibly look into the sabotage angle that has not been ruled out. Meanwhile, politics is on in full swing. Opposition parties are demanding Ashwini Vaishnav's resignation on moral grounds. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge has also written a letter to the Prime Minister where he highlighted 10 points urging the government to bring out the quote, real reason behind the accident. He alleged that the empty safety claims of Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav are now exposed. So where does the accountability lie? Should the current Railways Minister resign, as opposition says former ministers have done in the past? Or should the overall good record of the NDA governments in terms of railway safety and personally of Vaishnav too hold them in good stead? We'll take that question to our guests in just a bit. Let me first also break down how this tragedy unfolded and why it has turned out to be one of the deadliest train clashes in India. So on the day at the Bahanaga Bazaar station, the Coromandel Express was approaching the station and it was also given a green light to continue to do so. Simultaneously, from the other direction, there was the Yashwantpur-Howrah Express which was also approaching the station. Now here's where the problem happened. The interlocking system, the electronic interlocking system made the train, the Coromandel Express, change its line to the up loop line as we are showing. That's when this train collided with the stationary goods train that was already there on the loop line. And naturally, the first crash took place. As that crash took place, naturally the bogies of the train derailed post the first crash and then they collided with the Yashwantpur-Howrah Express, leading to crash number 2. Given that the crash involved multiple bogies of 2 trains, it led to absolute devastation and the main culprit was the interlocking system which directed the train to change these lines when clearly there was a problem with that. Now, the top railways officials have also said that the Coromandel Express was not overspeeding, so that's not really a cause. There is no driver error. But they did not rule out the possibility of outside intervention. So what does that mean? And where is that outside intervention possible? Let's take a look at that. So that brings us to this signaling system which is operated from the station building. Now this is operated by the station manager or the assistant station manager alone. The station manager's function is also limited to managing the operations. The automated logic system, which is this interlocking system, is operated from the relay room. Once the logic is set and tested, this relay room is then under lock and key. This relay room cannot be opened without prior approval and multiple keys, which just means that you have to take prior permissions and there are multiple people involved in that step. So this room is opened only if any problem with the system is noticed. The opening of the relay room for operations on June 2 when this accident took place has been ruled out. So where could the problem have lied and how did it take place that this interlocking system defaulted or gave an erroneous signal to the train approaching? But as far as the politics on this issue is concerned, there is no doubt that railways accidents have reduced and even loss of life associated with them. So from 2004 to 2014, which is the UPA era, just preceding the Modi governments, there were a total of 1,711 railway accidents and over 2,400 passengers that were killed in those accidents. From 2014 to 2022, the data that we have, there have been only 622 railway accidents, which is less than half, and 773 people have died in those accidents. So is it then fair to demand Ashwini Vaishnav's resignation? We'll take that question to our guest up next. Where exactly does the accountability lie? Should the Railways Minister, as opposition is pointing out, has happened in the past, take accountability even if on moral grounds and at least offer to resign? We'll take that with our guests coming up.
सफ़र कर ट्रेन में जा रहे थे, अचानक से डोलने लगा। डोलते डोलते ट्रेन रेल लाइन से नीचे नम गया और पत्थर में चलने लगा।
उन लोगों के सामने तो मैं सोच रहा था सब लोग मर ही गए, मैं भी तो सोच रहा मर ही गए।
पैर नीचे कर दिया, पैर में चोट आ गया। उसके बाद ट्रेन पलटी खा गया, पटरी से उतर गया। उसके बाद मेरा पेट में खर्च हो गया।
एकदम नॉर्मलाइजेशन की तरफ ले जाना है और बहुत ही संवेदना के साथ जिन परिवारों के मेंबर्स खो गए उनको किसी न किसी जल्दी से जल्दी उनके पास उनके परिवारजन पहुंचे। ये हमारा दायित्व भी खत्म नहीं हुआ।
It is the fault of the British that the train has crashed. No, the Congress minister, I remember, said, it is my responsibility the train has crashed, I am resigning.
अब ये कैसे एक्सीडेंट हो गया है इसको तो देखना चाहिए ना। जो बजट पेश होता था वो तो उस तरह का प्रावधान नहीं ना होता है जी, नहीं तो एक एक चीज बात तो सबको मालूम होता।
Let's go across to the guests who are joining us. Ram Mohan Reddy is the Congress spokesperson with us. Abbas Haider is the Samajwadi Party spokesperson. Daniel Francis is a political analyst also with us. We're also awaiting somebody from the BJP. Let me come across to Ram Mohan Reddy in first up. As I just mentioned, and as has been the contention of the BJP in power also, that you look at a wholesome picture of the railway standards and safety over the past 8 to 9 years, and it's a drastic improvement from what the UPA left behind. Then do you have any moral high point to ask for Ashwini Vaishnao's resignation? I'm not talking about the individual here alone, but just generally speaking, railway accidents have become fewer and far in between.
The standards of security and safety are always increasing day by day, year on year. But when this matter comes, if we just go through the report, internal report, on dated 9th February 2023, from which was shared to Principal Chief Operations of Southwestern Railways, because all we are talking about the demand of resignation of Honorable Railway Minister. We are not demanding resignation on the ground of morality here. We are demanding his resignation on the ground of negligence. Despite having knowledge that there is a flaw in between the signaling system and the interlinking section, the report, despite of ordering a probe or ordering an inquiry into it, which has received in February 2023, we would have averted this damage.
No, I'm aware of that letter that you're talking about, but I don't think that there is any clarity yet that he did not act on it. That hasn't been established yet.
If he had acted, then we would have definitely averted this incident. The point is very clear. The same reasons which was quoted, which was referred in the notice is that, report is that, the very similar incident that has happened in Balasore, which was averted just in time at Hausa Durga station. At Hausa Durga station, where an extremely alerted driver averted the incident. But the very same incident happened.
Yeah.
But despite taking action, despite ordering inquiry into it, then time passing has been done. This is nothing but negligence. That is the reason on the ground of negligence we are demanding resignation of Railway Minister.
Okay, fair enough. Vaibhav Agarwal is a leader of the BJP. He is also joining us. Vaibhav, there is this letter in the month of February which talked about exactly this issue cropping up in the same sector. Now, if the BJP believes that, there is no need for a resignation by the railway minister in this case, then they should come out and clarify what action was taken on that letter when exactly this problem was raised to the level of the railway minister. But we don't have that information coming forth from the BJP or the government. What step was taken?
Shivani, very good evening. Good evening to the panelists. First of all, my condolences to the entire country. We've lost many people, and it's a moment of sadness for all of us. And I'm sure that we will be able to overcome this by improving on our country's infrastructure, the infrastructure that came in legacy and years of apathy. Now, in my opening remarks, I will come back to the letter in the month of February, but let me drive a clear line of distinction between politics and governance. First of all, the letter came to a government minister. There is nothing political about it. I am 100% sure that with due course of time, we shall get our results, get our replies from there related to the letter, if so be it. However, let me tell you this, that any opposition party who's trying to demand for a resignation is absurd, and politics over death of about 300 people in the country and hurt of about 1,000 people.
No, that's not. Weber, that's not fair.
Shameful.
No, that's not fair. When the BJP has been in opposition, there have been serious railway accidents, and previous rail ministers have offered to resign.
Shivani, 1 minute. 1 minute. Let me come forth. 9 years of the government, 9 years of the NDA government, the Modi government. I'd like to bring forth your attention on when Mamata Banerjee was the railway minister.
Yes.
She was the first one who started this. 54 collisions, 839 derailments, 1,451 deaths. Then Nitish Kumar also tried to road roll us in the event of sadness. Okay, you want to do politics? We'll talk politics. 79 collisions, 1,000 derailments, 1,527 deaths. Now let's come to a Harvard visiting professor called Lalu Prasad Yadav. A Harvard visiting professor, right? Now let's talk about it. 51 collisions, 550 derailments, 1,159 deaths. Now somebody has to take accountability of it.
No, but that doesn't suffice.
So do the railway ministers take accountability.
Weber, you're missing the point. The fact that railway standards. No, one second. The fact that railways. I'll give you time. Let me re-establish the question I'm asking you. The fact that railway safety and standards have gone up, I don't think anybody can deny that. It is both the lived experience of Indians and it is both statistically proven. We are not discounting that. But let's also not forget a big accident has taken place. On top of that, in February, there is a letter which pointed out to a similar issue on the same sector. On moral and ethical grounds, the opposition is asking for a resignation. These numbers you rattled off of previous railway ministers. Mamata Banerjee did offer to resign in 2000. Atal Bihari Vajpayee did not accept her resignation. Suresh Prabhu was your BJP minister who offered to resign, was not accepted. At least the opposition is saying at least an offer should be made on ethical and moral grounds.
On ethical and moral grounds, we are trying to deal with the railway system which has legacy issues. The country today, the government today is revamping the entire railway systems, as you rightly said. Nobody can deny that. And I think we need to understand how system works. Once we understand what is the responsibility matrix, who's responsible where, there are issues that are there. The CBI inquiry has been led, and I think that should rest there instead of doing politics of resignation. It is extremely shameful. People the bigger aspect of this is that this is coming from people who have disrespected the country's parliament again and again, disrespected the country's people again and again.
Okay, that's a separate subject.
Should I be asking Nitish Kumar's resignation? Should I be asking Nitish Kumar's resignation very gracefully and RJD's deputy CM's resignation very gracefully because a 1,700 crore flyover which was about to get inaugurated fell down the second time?
No, but it's not like the BJP has not demanded resignations in the past. That's what opposition does.
Right now, Look, let's talk about the past. This is a sector, railway is a sector where we've seen 100x change in the entire system.
Okay.
We need to be emotional about it and we need to be proud of that. And it's the people the same people who've actually gone ahead and led the entire development. It is actually
1 second, I'll come to that issue. But let Abbas Haider also come in from the Samajwadi Party. The BJP's contention is that you look at the overall record of their term. It is far superior than previous governments. And yes, this is a grotesque tragedy, but you cannot ask for resignations purely based on this. Look at the overall record. Abbas Haider.
This is extremely insensitive on the part of Bharatiya Janata Party, that instead of accepting their mistake, instead of, taking the responsibility for this incident, right, trying to tell that during whose tenure how many derailment has happened, how many lives
why
our
not?
country has lost.
It's politics,
Let me.
bhai.
No, I didn't interrupt you. Please let me complete.
Sure.
Have some courtesy.
Sure.
Between 2017 and 2021, there has been around 1127 cases of derailment, out of which 26% have been due to linked to track renewal. And according to CAG report, there has been the funding in track derailment has been declined by the government in the past few years. In 2022 report of Contemporary Auditor General of India, and there has been failure of using dedicated fund for the railway safety. There has been understaffing in the railway safety. More than 3 lakh posts in the railway are vacant. This is not what I am saying. This is the CAG report. This is according to the CAG report. So truly, this has been extreme lapses on the part of the government, on the part of the railway ministry. But I think they should own up. They should own up this incident. More than 300 people have
Nobody
lost
is
their
running
lives.
away from the responsibility, Abbas, right?
No, one second. I'm not sure the data that you've quoted between 2017 and 2021. I have that data as well.
Data.
This divides the issues. One second. It divides the incidents in terms of collisions, derailments, LCs, accidents, fire in trains, and miscellaneous. The number is in double digits from years 2017-18 till now. And they used to be in triple digits. So let's not deny the fact that the total incidents have come down of all kinds.
Not really.
Not really का मतलब क्या है? तो statistic is statistic.
There have been 1127 incidents of derailment between 2017 and 2022, and we are.
No, I'm sorry. That's not the data I have. Where are you getting the 1100 ka number?
See, it has almost been a decade since Bharatiya Janata Party is in power, and naturally, technology-wise, our country and globally.
No, that's fine. But for the benefit of our viewers, we are running the numbers which are not just for the last 5 years; they are for the last 9 years. 1100 is wrong. Once again, Mr. Haider, you can make your arguments, but please do not be economical with the data. The data that you're talking about, I have that data. That data is not totaling up to 1100. No, so there must be there must be other technicalities in what you're quoting.
This is based on
as far as derailments are concerned. No, I'm sorry. As far as derailments are concerned, 1100 is a faulty number for the last 5 years. But please finish your point.
I'll just give me a second. I can show you the report. This is based on Economic Times report, which is based on a CAG report. I want to say that Bharatiya Janata Party Railway is a service provider, and if they are not able to provide safe service to the passenger of railway of paying them, they are not giving any free lunches to any citizen.
Fair enough. Fair enough. This is a service to the public.
They are responsible.
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel, let me one second. Daniel hasn't spoken. Daniel, there is a responsibility attached here. Now, nobody can at this stage hold Ashwini Vaishnav was a very qualified railways minister, by far the most qualified railways minister we've had in independent India's history, personally responsible at this stage. But when you are a government minister or a functionary, there is a responsibility when an accident like this takes place. His overall shining record personally and both of the government cannot paper over the fact that a massive tragedy has taken place, and an avoidable tragedy.
I want to ask myself and others on the panel very pertinent questions. That resigning as railway minister, has it ever helped the railway ministry in the past, and will it help in the future? Lal Bahadur Shastri resigned, Nitish Kumar resigned, others resigned. Has railway safety really become a central issue in this country? Have we really worked on railway safety? And, have we truly ensured that the ordinary people of India get a safe rail travel? What this accident really proves is that something went really wrong. And accountability has to be fixed. I don't think that asking for a resignation of the railway minister is accountability at all. I think he's a man with great competence, and he is trying to improve the railways to a large extent, and I think he has the capacity to even modernize the railway from rail safety point of view. But railway is a very big operation, and I'm not saying that he's not responsible and he should not be made responsible. But to take the debate out of rail safety as a national issue, as a national agenda for the people of India, and to make it about making somebody a scapegoat and just seeing that he resigns or does not resign is something very, very simplistic.
Okay, Mr. Reddy, you want to respond to that?
Whether Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav, no, I want to complete, wait.
Yeah.
And Mr. Prime Minister will decide whether Ashwini Vaishnav should go or not.
Yes.
But the question that people of India is asking is that how did such a big accident happen? Who is accountable for it, and what are the assurances?
No, but then where does that buck stop is the question. It may not be personally responsible. Personally, Mr. Vaishnav may not be responsible, but like I said, when you are in governance, that buck stops with the minister, with the government.
No, I am saying that Mr. Vaishnav may or may not be responsible is not the question. Mr. Vaishnav is responsible. What does he do about it is something that.
All right, I got your point. I'm saying you're saying that resignations don't help anyone. The minister has already shown the kind of drive that is needed in such situations. He's been on the ground, Mr. Reddy, for 3 days. He's led the rescue operations and also the track reopening efforts on ground, and he has shown that he deeply cares about it. What will a resignation achieve, Mr. Reddy?
See, it is a message to show to the world that this land still respects morality. This land still has morals and accountability. This is the responsibility, because the liability will be on the railway minister himself. Crocodile tears won't help you. All that matters is the lives of the people who lost because of your negligence. This counts. The question is this:
more than
who
Mr.
is responsible for this incident?
Vaishnav,
despite having a report on your table,
I think.
Why have you failed to order a probe or order an inquiry? Why aren't we not pressing that? Despite having that knowledge, we would have averted this massive accident. Hundreds of people's lives have been saved. Who is responsible for their lives? Who can understand the ordeal of the family?
Has already been announced.
Come on, not about CBI. We don't want your.
Then what is it about?
Yeah,
when there were more than 50
why have you failed to
rapes of minors in Rajasthan, did Ashok Gehlot resign?
Let me put this in perspective.
Did Congress talk about morality?
No, one second.
Did Priyanka Gandhi talk about morality?
It is something like all the parents here are saying like he's a very competent minister.
Is it different than the deaths that have happened? Where was your morality? Where there were political murders that were being committed in Kerala and in West Bengal? Where was the morality?
No, let's not shift this to anything else. One second.
High on something, just like Rahul Gandhi is.
No, 1 second. Let's not shift this to any other issue. All issues are equally important. Let me just bring in Mr. Yes, Daniel, what did you want to say?
Because
very
morality
quickly.
suits their
I just want to tell.
No Congress minister.
No.
Never had any reports as such.
Because all Congress ministers were incompetent. They were never able to deliver to India.
Okay, let's leave that aside. Right now, we've got a different government. That government will be held accountable. One by one, please, gentlemen. Can I just have Daniel? One by one, gentlemen. One by one, please. Daniel, yes, 30 seconds, please.
It is immaterial whether this party or that party has the moral authority on this question or all. Both these parties were and are and always be responsible to the people of India for the kind of things that happen in railway ministry. Railway is a very big ministry. It's a public interest ministry. Over 300 people have lost their lives. Somebody has to be made accountable, and the government of day is completely under the scanner for this issue. Instead of saying that, UPA years, so many accidents, NDA years, show to the people of India that you are more competent than the UPA, and prove to the people of India that you can give a very competent and very safe rail travel to the people of India.
Okay, all right.
Second thing is that there was an interesting thing with the rail budget where the railway minister was presenting his plans year after year to the people of India with budgets, with plans. Let that rail budget come back and let people of India know what exactly the ways of the railways are
There is no
and the plans of the railways are, so that we are completely assured.
Okay, Mr. Haider, I'll give you the final 30 seconds.
In the modernization of railways, do not forget the rail security.
Okay, once again, I'll give Mr. Haider the final 30 seconds as well. The question that is asked is that what does resignations achieve? Should this matter end if only the railway minister resigns? Should there not be a deeper inquiry and understanding of what went wrong? And from the railway minister to the railway station manager, accountability must be set throughout.
Naturally, see, I think these issues are above petty party politics. But we should understand that there have been many reports which were highlighting there have been shortcoming in the inspection. There have been, shortfall in ranging from 30 to 100% in inspection by track recording system. There have been many reports, but none action was taken on that. So who was ultimately responsible? Naturally, the minister, naturally the top bosses in the railways, they were responsible for this. So naturally, they should come up and take the responsibility. It is not the time. No, and they should try to help people who have suffered this heavy losses of life and, their family members. So I think this is not time to do politics, but yes.
Okay,
the
Vaibhav,
minister,
final 30 seconds, please. Final 30 seconds, please.
I think, Shivani, we should learn from our mistakes. And the NDA government has laid out a very pretty plan, and we've delivered so far in terms of development and safety measures. We are structured, we are organized in our approach to the entire subject, and this particular issue is still evolving. There is a CBI probe that is there. Let's wait for the investigation to come through and ask the relevant questions then.
Okay.
Because if we ask these questions now, it will be just premature and just petty politics, which of course we don't expect anything less than the opposition. Because the opposition's ministers have always been incompetent, have not done anything.
I will leave it at that. I will leave it at that. But there is a political accountability, whether we like it or not, whether he should immediately resign or whether he should be asked to leave later when the clarity comes on what really happened. That's a separate thing. But there is a political accountability attached to such incidents. We cannot ignore that.
Oh,
I thank our guests for joining us. I'm also moving across. Ashwani Vaishnav, the Railways Minister in question, is speaking. Let's listen in.
सारे कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर्स दिए जा चुके हैं, कॉन्टैक्ट करें और जल्दी से जल्दी इस आगे बढ़ें.
All right, there was a brief bite given by the minister. We'll try and see if we can replay more of it. But I'm also going across to another special guest joining us on the technicalities involved of what really transpired. Sudhanshu Mani is a former GM of the Indian Railways and the creator of the Vande Bharat train. Sir, thanks a lot for your time. From what we know from the railways is that the interlocking system gave a faulty signal to the train that was approaching and made it change lines, because of which it collided with a stationary train, and the double crash took place. I want to understand from you, why is it that this interlocking system would give a faulty signal? How does that happen?
Okay, so the interlocking system did not give a faulty signal. It is fail-safe. If there is a fault, it goes to a fail-safe mode, turns the signal red, and the train would stop. The interlocking system was interfered with by some person or a group of persons, interfering it in a manner that it gives a false indication to the station master that the route is set for the main line, signal was taken off for the main line, whereas really the route was still set to the loop line, which was occupied by a heavy goods train.
Right.
So this points to a human unauthorized intervention, either with a criminal intention or cavalier attitude to maintenance, carefree maintenance done by some maintainer. At this stage, we don't know whether it was a maintenance staff which did this mischief or it was a criminal intent. If it was a railway staff, he was presumably doing it to cut down his maintenance time. There are pressures of work today. Trains have to keep running, so the window of maintenance is small. And maybe he adopted a short circuit method without realizing the consequences. And if it's a criminal activity, then it's a matter of state security on which I would not like to speak anything.
Yes.
Inquiry would reveal whether it was, yes.
So, I just want to reiterate this. You are saying there is no way that this fail-safe interlocking system, there could not have been any technical error. It has to be a human-induced error.
That's my understanding. I'm not a supreme expert, but that's my understanding. And in my experience, I have not come across a case where the system itself resulted in such a failure. But I have come across failures where human unauthorized intervention caused a failure-like or accident-like situation.
So, from what I understand, sir, that this system is operated by the station manager or the assistant station manager. Once the system is set, there can be no changes without multiple people being involved. The relay room is locked and you need multiple keys to change this. Then how is a human intervention possible?
So that's a matter of investigation. The relay room cannot be accessed without the consent of the station master who keeps the key. So whether the relay, some maintainer was actually present in the relay room or not would be known through investigation. Most likely the interference would have been done in the relay room, but it's also remotely possible from other locations, usually not the case. That's a matter of investigation, as you said. But what I'm repeating again is this kind of situation would arise only because either a human carefree working, cavalier working, shortcut, or, as I said, a criminal intent.
So in that sense, you concur with what the railway minister has hinted at, that there can be more than meets the eye. The system did not fail. There was some other, either intentfully or without intent, some sort of interference with the system.
Yes, largely, but my information, which is of course hearsay and through my sources, I was given to understand that some maintenance work was indeed going on there. So I have no means to verify that. But because a CBI inquiry has been ordered, which is unprecedented, I would tend to think that government has some information that some foul play was at hand. So this is all I would like to say. Like yesterday, I was under the impression that the sabotage angle is perhaps very unlikely, but today, after the CBI inquiry has been ordered, I would think that there is some information with the government to which I am not privy. So it could be both, and I am not going to second guess on that.
Yes.
But I'll repeat again that I'm sure it is some human unauthorized intervention which has caused this failure.
Okay. So, sir, my final question to you, since you're saying that this is some sort of unauthorized human intervention that has led to this accident, it is not the system in place, how is it that we avoid something like that? Because I'm sure there are checks and balances already in place for such unauthorized human interference to not take place.
Yeah. That's right. So if it is a criminal intent behind this intervention, then it's a matter of state security. I'm not an expert on that. It is law and order issue, and that will have to be tackled by various ministry, Home Ministry and others in association with Railway Ministry.
Right.
But if it's a case of a maintainer doing this, he is authorized to be there, but he's doing an unauthorized action. That is, he is there with authority, but the procedures and rules to do maintenance has not been followed. He has done a shortcut to perhaps to do his work quickly. Now this, as I said, could happen because of pressure of work, because pressure of work has increased these days because of saturation of train lines. Train lines have increased, numbers of trains have increased, these things. The important question here is whether it is a totally one-off case or similar irregularity keeps happening and overlooked. So that again, if it was happening in that zone or that area, and there was knowledge about it, and it was overlooked, or not dealt with severely, then it's not just the signal man or the ASM who's responsible. The responsibility would then has to be thrown up to the management. But that is also something which will come out in the inquiry. I'm sure a thorough inquiry will reveal whether such cases were taking place and brushed under the carpet.
Okay, I just have a final follow-up question. Since you're saying that this could be because of, let's say, overwork or stress of work, that somebody has chosen to bypass certain set procedures and has in a callous manner interfered when they shouldn't have, could the fact that there are so many vacancies still in the railways, which the opposition has also pointed out to, be a reason that this has happened, that we need to augment the strength of the railway staff, especially ones who are handling such critical operations?
So if the vacancies are in categories which are largely for, say, manufacturing or maintenance or commercial activities and so on, that really does not have an impact on safety. If the vacancies are in categories like loco pilot, station master, ESMs, the signal maintainers, or guards and so on, so large number of vacancies in these areas is not good for safety, that I agree. But since I don't have the information about this particular railway as to what is the level of vacancies there, I don't think I will go beyond that.
Okay.
One caveat again, it's not a question of number of vacancies in question of signal maintainers. Even if there are vacancies, it's more a question of the pressure to do a work quickly or simple carefree cavalier attitude. Both are possible. So if it is because of pressure of work and to make the trains run in time and not lose any punctuality, then the management becomes involved, because trains may run or not run, but thousands of lives matter much more than merely a train running.
Understood. I do thank you for your time and for your explanation. So you are also suggesting that this is not a system failure. This has to be some sort of negligent human interference, whether willfully or otherwise. Sudhanshu Mani, I do thank you for joining us. Let's also replay that reaction that came in a short while ago from the Railway Minister.
गुजर चुकी है, बहुत तेजी से नॉर्मलाइजेशन हो रहा है, ऑपरेशन नॉर्मलाइज हो रहा है. साथ ही साथ हम लोगों का पूरा फोकस आज दिन भर रहा किस तरह से पैसेंजर्स के परिवारों तक पहुंचकर बंगाल में, झारखंड में, बिहार में, जहाँ भी हमारे पास सूचना है वहाँ पे रेलवे के कर्मचारी कोशिश कर रहे हैं परिवारजनों के साथ संपर्क करने की. और मैं सभी देश भर में परिवारजनों को निवेदन भी करूँगा कि आपके जो भी आपको सुविधा चाहिए, जो भी आपको फैसिलिटी चाहिए, आप सारे कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर्स दिए जा चुके हैं, कॉन्टैक्ट करें और जल्दी से जल्दी इस आगे बढ़ें.